The human brain is an obsession machine designed to hunt for faces. It is a biological imperative and a psychological phenomenon known as pareidolia. From the moment we are born, we are evolutionarily hardwired to scan our environment for 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. We see faces in the clouds, on the surface of the moon, and even in the burnt patterns of our toast. We do this because identifying a face means identifying intent. Is that person smiling? Are they angry? Are they friend or foe? A face provides data, and in the wild, data equals safety. But what happens when you look at a human shape, expecting a signal, and you receive absolutely nothing in return? What happens when the place where humanity should reside is replaced by a void? Today, we are not discussing monsters with fangs or claws. We are dissecting the terror of the blank slate. This is the anatomy of the faceless. To understand why this specific fear paralyzes us, we must examine 2 perfect specimens from 2 very different eras of horror. First, we have the shape, better known as Michael Myers. When John Carpenter created this icon, he didn't just write a serial killer, he created a force of nature. The mask he wears, originally a Captain Kirk mask painted white, was an accidental stroke of genius. It erased the man and left only a vessel. Decades later, the internet birthed a digital successor, the Slender Man. Tall, suited, standing in the distance with an authority that commands attention, yet possessing a face that is completely smooth. No eyes, no mouth, no expression. Both of these entities, despite their different origins, weaponize the exact same psychological glitch in the human mind. They are terrifying not because of what they show us, but because of what they refuse to show.
But the eyes...
When we analyze this through the lens of psychology, we immediately encounter the concept of cognitive dissonance and the uncanny valley. When you look at Michael Myers or the Slender Man, your brain receives conflicting signals. The body is human, the movement is human, but the face, the primary seat of empathy and communication, is missing or obscured. This contradiction plunges these entities straight into the bottom of the uncanny valley. They look human enough to fool our pattern recognition, but the lack of features screams that something is biologically wrong. They are not people, they are predatory mimics, shells that only resemble us. However, the true danger of the faceless monster lies in a mechanism called psychological projection. Because these entities offer no emotional expression, they function as mirrors. In psychoanalysis, when we are presented with a blank surface, we instinctively project our own internal states onto it. Michael Myers is not angry, he is indifferent. He is simply existing. But because his face is a blank canvas, the victim and the audience paints their own worst fears onto that white rubber. You are terrified not by what he is feeling, but by what your own mind imagines he is feeling. We do the work for him. We fill in the void with our own specific nightmares. Furthermore, the absence of eyes triggers a primal panic known as scopophobia, the fear of being watched. With the Slender Man, who has no eyes, or Michael, whose eyes are hidden in the deep shadows of his mask, we encounter the panopticon effect. You know you are being observed, but you cannot verify the observer's location or their focus. You cannot lock eyes with them to negotiate or beg for mercy. This uncertainty spikes cortisol levels far higher than a monster that is visibly screaming at you. The silence and the ambiguity are always louder than the roar. Ultimately, why do we return to these stories? What is the value in staring into the void? Michael Myers and the Slender Man represent a brutal, cosmic truth, the indifference of evil. They do not hate you. They do not have a tragic backstory that justifies their actions. They are random, cold, and inevitable forces of destruction, much like a hurricane or a plague. Watching these faceless entities on screen provides a form of catharsis. It allows us to rehearse the feeling of facing the unknown. We cannot find humanity in the eyes of these monsters, so we are forced to find the strength and humanity within ourselves to survive them. We have dissected the shell of the monster, the terror of the mask and the void. But what happens when the monster has a face? A face that is painted to smile forever, hiding a shattered psyche underneath. Next week, we put Arthur Fleck on the couch. We will move from the faceless killer to the man who laughs in pain. Join me for that therapy session. I'm Dr. Aris Thorne, and this is The Monster's Id.